Okay.
I suggest you look into the founders of this movement. You were being riled up to get took down. All your marching and protesting ain't doing nothing. They have labeled you a terrorist through Revelation 11 and 8. And their bodies shall lie in the streets, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Sodom representing homosexuality, and Egypt representing all the false god idol worship. These are just a few of your trespasses. Your God is very bad. You see your black light, it got no intellect. It doesn't know it's God. It doesn't know itself. It's only wise in ways that the Father hates. Ain't got a drop of faith. It is a reprobate. It got a heathen mind, selfish and covetous. The kings hate righteousness. The queens ain't virtuous. It got no time for truth. It's too in love with lies. It'll do anything, long as the price is right. It do what it want. It eat what it want. It sleep wherever it wanna sleep. It freak what it want. Then it expect a blessing. But it reject the lesson. A punching bag for the devil, it ain't got no protection. A sign and a wonder, it fell and got cursed. It is a proverb, it is a byword. It gets slaughtered, and then it protests, crying the heathens. Them heathens don't care, I tell you. Black lives don't matter. What? Black lives don't matter. And you shall perish among the heathens in the land of your enemy. Black lives don't matter. And you shall fall one upon another, grasping for a sword in the land of your enemy shall eat you up. Black lives don't matter. Oh, he tripped. Black lives don't matter. Hey, what you say, homie? Leviticus 26 and 15 through 16. And if you shall despise my statute, if you don't like my regulation, or if you're a soul abhor my judgment, again, if you hate my reckoning, so that ye will not do all my commandments, again, if you won't do what I tell you to do, but that ye break my covenant, again, if you preach disagreement. 16, I also will do this unto you. What will you do, Father? I will leave it a point over you terror. I will bring terror upon you. And what else? Consumption. You will be consumed. And the burning ague, that's a fever with a seizure. You know how we be laid out on the ground having them spasms and shakeouts? And what else? That shall consume the yard. That means our eyes will roll back in our head. That's us dying out here, family. The Father ain't playing with us. We really fulfilling these prophecies. We might as well shape up, fly right, and receive the promises too. It's only one solution. Black light don't want that. Therefore, it's wig gon' keep getting combed back. This war is spiritual, but it run from that. Most High gave it a law, but it won't come back. So he upon our head with chastisement, fall one upon another. That mean we dying. See, black is not a people. Black is just a color. Judah, Levi, and Ben. Them the three southern brothers. And it don't matter if you know you them or not. They finna crank it up. It's gonna get really hot. You ain't seen nothing yet. They wanna kill us all, unless this time be shortened. Even the remnant law, y'all shit gon' crack the sky right in the nick of time. That's when the tables turn and righteousness will shine. But you don't know about it or how to go about it, Because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. I tell you, black lives don't matter. Stop crying to these heathens. Black lives don't matter. Cry to a higher, you shall perish among the heathens in the land of your enemy. Black lives don't matter. He's doing this to you. You shall fall one upon another, grasp for a sword in the land that your enemy shall eat you up. That's prophecy. Black lives don't matter. Marching and protest. Black lives don't matter. With a stomach full of pork. With a stomach full of pork. Read the Bible. Leviticus 26 and 37 through 47.
Shema Yasharala Ahaya. Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hero Israel. The Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Yasharala Ahaya. Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hero Israel. The Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Yasharala Ahaya. Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hero Israel. The Lord our God is one Lord.
My mouth shall speak the praise of the Lord, and let all the flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Hearken unto me, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. For my mouth shall speak the truth, and wickedness is an abomination unto my lips. All glory be to Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, Yeshaya, and the Holy Spirit. Peace to all the 12 tribes who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and shalom to those that are not of the blood lineage of Israel, but they keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Therefore, they have the surname of Israel, according to Isaiah 44 and 5. Right. So we are at the midpoint of our summer lessons, and today we're going to talk on slavery. We have done slavery lessons before, and typically we would cover all of the 12 tribes. Not today. I'm doing what Mother tells me. We're going to focus on Levi, Benjamin, and Judah. Maybe some Latinos in the midst of that. But since we're talking Issachar and Gad later on, then I feel like there's no need in even bringing them up. And we have done this before. We have taught on this before. So, but Mother advised focus Levi, Benjamin, Judah. And that's what we're going to do. So, slavery.
Changed it on our Mother again.
No, we're still going to talk Issachar and Gad later on.
Oh, okay.
Right, well, Issachar and Gad will be covered later on with what we're going to talk about as far as, you'll see what I'm saying.
Okay.
If we get that far. All right, so we're going to talk slavery. We're going to do this lesson a lot different than what we previously do it. We're going to have a lot of accounts to talk about. And like I said before, natives and Latinos, you should know your history. I shouldn't have to teach you your history. You should know it. You should be telling me your history. So, but we'll talk a little. There's a little Latinos, Hispaniolas, or whatever they want to call themselves, in the middle of this lesson when we get to Hebrews of West Africa. First of all, I don't like talking Black History Month. It's wrong. In any type of history month, whether it be Black, Chinese, whether it be Latino, whether it be Asian history, it's incorrect. You're not supposed to do things like that. In fact, who really cares? You're not supposed to. Only those people who have pride in where they come from don't really want to talk about that, because everybody has a history. So why single out people, and why single out different ethnic groups and say, okay, this is our month, that's our month, and this one is our month, or in some cases we got 2 weeks here, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. But seeing that the Bible is designated to the 12 tribes who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, the Bible gives us our true history and put it on the table, which is a start of our history. since July of 2007, since July of 2009, we have put history and we have taught on history. We have had numerous lessons on history. We have had numerous lessons on all the 12 tribes when it comes to slavery, and every single tribe that is a part of the 12 tribes have been through slavery in one shape, form, or another. But no one has felt the atrocities that the tribe of Judah and Benjamin have felt. Yes, Gad did have 77 million people murdered during the time of the so-called Puritans, who weren't really so pure, came over up until the Great Wars and up until the 1900s. We are fully aware of that. Okay? But at the same time, when it comes to the tribe of Judah, the numbers fluctuate, and it only fluctuates with the transatlantic slave trade. However, Judah has been going through slavery since 700 AD. Gad, and no offense to my Gad brothers, you have not been through slavery or had any types of fights since 700 AD. In fact, none of the 12 tribes have been persecuted since 700, and let's go a little further, maybe even 600 AD, with the Arab slave trade. No tribe has. So for the Northerners to sit there and think they're this and they're that and they're those things and that, how dare you, Northerners? How dare you? And in fact, you, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you all have the attitudes and the behaviors of a wretch. You don't know where you come from. You don't know who you come from. There should be not one Benjamin, Levi, or Judah person sitting here today or on live stream feeling angry or upset or feeling this or feeling that. How dare you? When our people, if you even frowned up, they whooped the crap out of you. If you even frowned up, if you did not smile when you spoke to Massa, they beat you. Oh, and those are the good ones. And we got an account of a quote unquote gentle slave master. You heard of that term before? The gentle slave masters, the gentlemen slave masters, who would say, I don't beat my slaves. I treat them just like their people. We got an account of one of them from his own personal diary. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that you all act like you're privileged. You really do. You act like you're privileged. You act like it's, you don't have a clue on what our ancestors have been through. And that's a shame. That is a crying shame. We get angry and upset over, I can't pay my bill, or my car tire went out, or you get angry and upset over stupid stuff.
We're so much better than that. We're so much more than that.
We get angry over stupid stuff, or you worry about stupid stuff. Everything. Time out for that, 12 tribes.
Has there ever been an account in the Bible where our people worried about paying or doing anything?
No. They were too busy doing their idolatry. But no.
True.
A lot of people take issue about what has happened. A lot of people take issue about when it comes to the slave trade, and it comes to this, and it comes to slavery and all this stuff. All this, and let me say something. Stay off YouTube if you're trying to do something about slavery. Stay off of YouTube. Everybody on YouTube is woefully ignorant when it comes to that. Woefully ignorant. Some of the stuff, when I was looking at this and I was looking on YouTube, I was like, no wonder you all are not learned. No wonder. These people don't have the scruples to put on themselves, and they make themselves seem so smart. I love how people make themselves seem so smart, when in fact they're speaking nonsense. Nonsense. Before we get to the lesson, we're going to be in the valley on book section. We're going to be in the valley of dry bones. You're Israelite, you need this book. We're going to be in Ohida. You want to be Israelite? You need to read this book. Slave Port. We're going to be in Dark Side Ghettos, Injustice, Dissonant, and Reform. We're going to be in this book. We're going to, I don't know if we'll be in the Bible Atlas. I don't know about that one. We're going to be in the American Holocaust. And we're going to be in Hebrews of West Africa. So those are the books that we're going to be into today. Next week it's going to be more. Great. Wonderful.
Look how he looking.
See, the thing is that the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. Does the Bible, is the Bible just talking about the scriptures? Or is it talking about everything to study to show thyself approved?
Everything.
So I study to show myself approved, so I can say unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, that people on YouTube are stupid. They have the wrong history. They sit up there and they'll tell you this is why he's slave and that's why the slave happened. This is that and those things. And when they don't have a clue on what they're talking about. First of all, I mean, the slave trade happened because we were disobedient.
Remember, I was showing you something, and it talked about white people slavery, white slavery, or something.
Yes,
remember that?
That is true. That's true, but a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't care about that. But yes, so-called Europeans are in slavery also. I mean, let's be honest. Slavery has been around since the start of Babylon.
And it still is.
And it still is. No, I'm not talking about America's slavery. I'm talking about true slavery. It still is going on today. Right? Mm-hmm. Indentured servants. Those are slaves. No matter how you want to put it. No matter what you want to spin it, indentured servants are slaves. They were slaves. The European fiefdom, that's what they would do. Indentured servants. Sons of Ham haven't been too nice to us. Right? They haven't been too nice. We want to show you that this is why we are treated so roughly with other nations. But why do we get mad at other people? We should be mad at ourselves. It was us. Yeshua warned us. Yeshua continued to warn over and over and over again. The prophets would come and warn over and over and over again. They wouldn't listen. Even today, Yeshua warns over and over and over again, and nobody listens. That's why we are in the condition we're in right now, because nobody listens. And you can't say, well, I listen, because you really don't. Nobody listens. That's why we are in captivity today. We'll show you today when Yeshua says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. You all have heard me say your Israelite names and your whites and your fringes. I don't care about Israelites. I could care less. That's not important. I could care less about having a Hebrew name versus a slave name. I could care less. I could care less that you want to wear all whites on the Sabbath day. I could care less if you wear fringes every single day, going to bed from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. I could care less, because being a good servant of Yeshua is more important.
That's right.
It's more important.
The Pharisees was well dressed.
Exactly. It was more important to be a good servant of Yeshua than your Hebrew names, than your fringes, your meat trees, your whites. your whatever it is that you want to follow as being a Israelite. That means nothing if you're not a good servant of Yeshua. A lot of Israelites are going to go burn in hell. When you first think of the word slave trade, what do you think? First thing that comes to your mind is the Atlantic slave trade. Whenever somebody says slave trade, Atlantic slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, if you're really smart. That's the first thing that people say. When there were numerous slave trades. Yes, I know the transatlantic is the most well-known. There were a lot, quite a few. We're not going to talk about all the slave trades today. We have other lessons that we did talk about the other slave trades, the Oriental slave trade, the Arab slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade to the Jamaicas, or the Caribbean slave trade, or the Brazilian slave trade, or South America slave, Brazilian slave trade, the Filipino slave trade. We've talked about all those before. Okay. Don't need to talk about it again. Unless Mother tells me to make a lesson about it, then I'm going to do it. A lot of slave trades that are out there, and the most of them happen when you think of slave trade. Guaranteed, you're going to find 12 tribes. You're not going to find anybody else when it comes to slave trades. It's always going to be people from